Right, so a new genre on the Markie channel here, because today we're going to be talking about storage drama. Or it could also be Grammy drama. It kind of works both ways, so two new genres, let's just say that. Now, the situation in particular that we're talking about today, it started with one video that went viral, you know, everyone was just kind of amazed that it happened, was quite shocked, and then it turned a little bit darker, there was accusations being thrown around, and there's still a lot of unanswered questions, we have responses from everybody involved, but let's actually start from the beginning, right? This is how it started. So it started on a TikTok account called The Storage Hunters with 400,000 followers, and basically this page is run by this guy who kind of goes to these like abandoned storage units, you know, storage units that haven't been paid for in a while. He'll put a bid in, not knowing exactly what's in a storage unit. If he wins the bid, he can then go and search a storage unit. Sometimes you gain profit, sometimes you don't. Well, recently he uploaded a video where he decided to look through a storage unit that he bought for $280, and in this case, he made massive profit.
$280, the reason I bid on this unit, I saw the PS5 little thing right there, Yeezy sled, and mainly that suitcase right there. I searched it up. That's a Toomey suitcase. $1,000 it goes for.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure, even though I've never done this before, but I'm pretty sure when you do bid on like a storage unit, you get to see like what's inside it, but you don't really get like search through stuff, right? You can't look through boxes. You can just see the packaging or the suitcases. In this case, he saw an expensive suitcase. He saw a PS5 game. He saw a Yeezy slide box. But straight away, once he starts looking through, he realizes he's hit the jackpot here, right? He opens one suitcase and it's just designer clothing left, right, and center.
Can't open it all the way, but we're gonna have to go one by one. Clothing pieces. What do we got right here? Colt La Libre. This looks nice. Look at this. Yo.
Yeah, so this was a brand that I hadn't heard of, and I've just kind of based it on like what I'm hearing him say, and I believe it's this brand right here, although I can't find the exact jacket. If it is this brand, very expensive, right? There's some stuff on here that goes for like $3.4 thousand, like a lot of money. He then looks through it further, finds other stuff like a Louis Vuitton shirt.
What else we got? Oh my God. Let's go. We just came up. We just go. Look at this. Louis Vuitton brand new with the tags. $1,520 retail.
Yeah, so understandably, he's very happy, right? He's paid $280 and he's clearly going to get a big profit on this. He then looked through further. It's quite a long video. It's 10 minutes, which is long for TikTok, right? He looked through further. There's more clothing. But then this next thing that he opens, his next suitcase, I don't think in a million years he would have thought that what was in there was actually in there. But this way he opens it and finds a Grammy.
All right, you guys ready? Come on, come on. What the heck is this? Roddy Ricch. There's no way this was his freaking Grammy. Oh. Roddy Ricch Grammy? Was this his freaking locker? Did we just find Roddy Ricch's locker?
Well, it turns out we now know this is Roddy Ricch's locker, hence like the expensive clothing and whatnot. He's an artist who's clearly won a Grammy. I believe it was with Nipsey Hussle as well, who's unfortunately passed away now. And like I said before, I imagine never in a million years did he think he'd ever find like a Grammy in a storage locker, right? Like why would it be left in a storage locker? We do have some answers to that later. Now, after this video was posted, it went crazy viral, as you can imagine, right? Finding a Grammy in a storage locker. It's a bit of a mad thing to see, right? But there was a lot of questions as to like, what should he do now? He's even asking himself the questions in this video, like what does he do at this point? The comment section seemed to be very split, right? There was a lot of people saying, well, it's yours now, right? You've bought the locker, this is all your property. Sell the Grammy and you can probably make, I mean, I don't know, how much does a Grammy go for? I'm pretty sure actually you're not allowed to sell Grammys. Like if you won a Grammy yourself, you're not allowed to sell it. I believe there's a rule about that. But obviously he didn't win the Grammy himself. He found it in a locker that he paid for. So I'm assuming he'd be able to do what he wants with it. I could be wrong. But then on the flip side, there was a lot of people saying that he should give it back to Roddy Ricch, right? Because it's an achievement that he worked hard for. Obviously, Nipsey Hussle is part of the song as well that won the Grammy, who's unfortunately passed away. This could be a very sentimental thing for Roddy Ricch. And in fact, at first, there was a lot of comments from people just thinking that this was staged and fake. I mean, one of the top comments here literally says, I think it's staged. It's got 4,000 likes. A lot of people just thought this was set up. But from everything that we've heard since this video, we have a lot to get through. It doesn't seem staged in the slightest. It turns into this kind of like back and forth of accusations, like I said before. So it doesn't seem like it was staged. But looking at the other comments, there's comments like this one saying, my opinion is sell effing, but give Roddy his Grammy back. You were already making it out so clean. And then on the flip side, we've got comments like this saying, everyone is crazy for saying give it back. Obviously, it didn't hold much value to him or he would have paid his storage unit. And then after this video was posted, we got a few follow-up videos, right? This first follow-up video was kind of just confirming that this was Roddy Ricch's storage unit.
$280 for, yes, it's real. We ended up finding out it was Roddy Ricch's storage unit. I'll give you guys some more details now, but guys, this is a real Grammy. I didn't think I would ever hold one in my hands. It weighs a lot. You guys see it right there. Look at that, legit. You guys read that from the arts. Roddy Ricch, if you want your Grammy back, let me know. Let's work something out. Send me a message, DM. I don't know if you want your Grammy back, but I'm pretty sure this is important. This is crazy. I didn't think I would ever find this in the video in a storage unit.
So as you just heard right there, he said, Roddy Ricch, if you want your Grammy back, send me a message, we can sort something out. And it turns out he did receive a message. I believe it was by his team rather than like Roddy Ricch himself. And then this is where the situation seems to get a lot worse, right? Because we get a new follow-up video where he says that this has turned into a nightmare for him and all he wanted in return for this Grammy was a thank you video from Roddy Ricch, but apparently that wasn't possible.
I made this video, I need to clarify things. A lot has been going on these past couple days since I found this. Never did I think it was gonna turn into a nightmare. But whatever, let me tell you guys, yes, I got in contact with Roddy Ricch and his assistant. And no, I'm not asking for $1 million for this, none of that. All I wanted was a video of me giving it back to him, or at least a video of him telling me thank you, that's all I want. Clearly that wasn't possible.
And then goes on further to explain that after he posted this video, he's been receiving a lot of threats and so has his family.
This has turned into a nightmare for me having this thing. Threats to me and my family, pictures of my house, my whole full social, all my family is getting affected by this. All the people saying that, and I'm getting threats saying to take down my videos, that it's a threat, it's a disrespect to Nipsey's family. Guys, this was never my intent. Respect to Nipsey's family and everyone. You guys know that this is what I do for a living. I post videos of what I find in storage units. Did I think this was gonna be in there? No.
Okay, so one thing that doesn't need to be mentioned here is he obviously doesn't say that the threats in particular came from Roddy Ricch or his team. He just mentions that he's been getting threats. Now, Roddy Ricch mentions this in his response video, which we will get to later, but he's basically saying that it wasn't from him. If it was from people, it would have been people who saw the video and feel like it was the right thing to do to give it back because it's his award and like Nipsey Hussle's tied to it as well. But we don't get any real clear answers in this video. It's a bit vague as to where these threats are coming from, right? So we don't know that for sure. But if he was getting threats because of this, I don't understand it at all because all he's done is purchase a storage unit, which you're allowed to do if it hasn't been paid for, right? And then that stuff is technically yours. He's made a video showing it, and that's what he does on his channel. And judging from the videos alone, he is saying that all he wanted was like a thank you video or like a video returning it to him, and that's all he wanted in return. When we get to Roddy Ricch's response, it's a bit different, but like I said, we'll get to that later. But yeah, either way, of course, like this guy does not deserve threats, especially his family and all this stuff. I do not understand that for the life of me. I don't get why people would do that. Again, he just bought a storage locker and showed what's in it. But the video carries on where he says that he wants nothing to do with this at this point and he just wants to give it back.
Obviously, I don't want anything to do with this anymore. It's affected me and my family. Never did I think that me trying to do something good by giving it back would turn into a nightmare. Clearly, I think at the end we got it resolved, and I'm gonna go to the police station today. Meet up with, I guess, 2 of his assistants that said that we're gonna pick it up, and that's it. I don't want anything to do with it.
But yeah, like I said, he doesn't directly say where the threats came from, but the fact that he's meeting up at a police station to give it back, and he's mentioned how this turned into a nightmare, it does insinuate, in my opinion at least, that it does seem like it's coming from, like, Roddy Ricch or his team at least. But again, he doesn't say that directly. There's not like any proof shown of like screenshots or anything like that, so we obviously don't know. But this is where we do get the final video on the Storage Hunters page where he does meet up with Roddy Ricch's assistant. Roddy Ricch is on like FaceTime with him and he gives back the Grammy. Yeah, I mean, as we watch this like through, you'll notice that there seems to be a bit of a weird energy, clearly.
So are you the one who's supposed to... Yeah, what's your name? What is it? Divine. I'm supposed to be with Benjamin.
So there's like a confusion on like who's came to receive it, but then shows Roddy Ricch on FaceTime. Okay. And we can't really hear what he says, right? But clearly someone has met up with him to get the Grammy. He then goes on to show him giving back the Grammy, and if you listen to the stuff he's saying, he clearly seems nervous about it. It clearly seems like something has happened here.
Alright, I just want you guys to check it. I'm giving you back in one piece. I don't want any problems or anything. It's there in one piece. You guys see it?
Am I picking up the clothes too or no?
No. I took clothes too, Ricky. I'm not gonna, like, I don't know.
Can we just give you cash for the clothes or something?
I mean, you guys didn't tell me anything. It was just a Grammy. I I'm giving it back to, I want everyone to see I'm giving it back in one piece. I don't want any more problems.
Okay, so he's saying stuff like, I'm just giving it back in one piece, I don't want any more problems. Again, we don't know directly what he's talking about there. It could be referring to his team, it could be referring to the comments in general. Also, Roddy Ricch's assistant here saying, can we give you some cash for the clothes? He's replying saying, oh, we didn't speak about that, we just spoke about the Grammy. And I guess he's keeping the clothes because that's not mentioned again after this. But yeah, like I said a few times, right, there clearly seems to be a bit of a weird energy here. He ends the video by showing him actually like giving it over, and again, it just all feels a bit weird.
Appreciate it.
So this is yours now, so I want everyone to see that. That's it. Alright?
I appreciate it, bro.
Alright, thank you, man. I appreciate it. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know, it seems all a bit weird, right? He barely says like, thank you for it, just like, oh, I appreciate it, mate. Like, and that's kind of it. Maybe he's like weirded out by the fact that there's cameras recording him, but like this was a situation online, you'd probably expect that, right? But that is brought up in Roddy Ricch's response later. But that's a video, right? And the majority of the comments in this video, especially when it was first uploaded before we got Roddy Ricch's response video, which we'll get to, a lot of people were just saying like, why aren't they grateful? Like, why are they acting like that? And so on. I can't tell you what I really think about this because TikTok will take my comment down, but Roddy Ricch, you could have handled this a lot better. Now you just look like a piece of shit. There's another comment here saying, I feel like they threatened the man. And then we got more comments like this saying, no cash reward is crazy though. Now, there is a lot of other comments on this kind of talking about the response video, which we're going to take a look at now. Well, before we get to the video, Roddy Ricch did actually comment on this video of him handing back over the Grammy, and he said, my assistant was in a near-fatal motorcycle accident in a coma, which is how the storage was mishandled. I appreciate you for finding it in your heart to return the Grammy. Much love. So he explains why it was left in the storage unit and what happened with that situation. Obviously a horrible situation from this, right, with his assistant. And then he says he appreciates it for handing it over. Much love. Seems like they're on good terms at this point, right? But when we see the response video, it doesn't really seem like that.
Him getting into that accident is how, you know, that shit even got mishandled. Once we received the news that the kid had the Grammy and everything, we get on the phone with him immediately. We found the video at like 1,000 views, called him immediately, you know what I mean, and like offered him something, but he was basically saying like the money we was on ain't shit, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I got like 10 bands for you or whatever. He like, man, that ain't shit. I want 50,000. First he asked me for an AP. Then he asked for 50,000.
Okay, so clearly two very different sides of the story, right? We originally hear that he just wants like a thank you video or like a video handing it over. Then we're hearing that the 10K offer wasn't enough. It should be 50K or an AP watch. Now, after this video, we do have a very brief response in a comment from the Storage Hunters kind of like talking about this. And he's basically saying in that comment that this offer was never made. So who knows at this point? But either way, Roddy Ricch carries on by saying that this was never about giving back the Grammy. It was about like clout or like money.
He wasn't, you know, so it never was about, oh, you know what I mean, we're going to do it on just the strength of trying to get it back to you and all that type of shit. It was more so about a nigga trying to get clout off of it or a nigga trying to basically extort me for $50,000. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, so more specifically, he says that he was trying to extort him for $50,000. I don't really know if it does fall into that category. I mean, the guy's bought it from a storage locker and he's wanted to sell it for a price. I don't really think that's extorting. But obviously there is a lot of different opinions on whether he should have been selling it in the first place or should just give it back. And now at this point in the video, Roddy Ricch basically talked about like these threats that are happening and just kind of says like it's because it's sentimental to a lot of people and that's maybe why he might have got like hateful messages, but they aren't from him.
And this is something that's sentimental to people from where I come from, you know what I mean? And just, it's sentimental to us, you know what I mean? So for what he's talking about with just people feeling the type of way, he could have got heckled by somebody, I don't know, you know what I mean? And just sending him whatever. People who love Nipsey and who love Roddy, who just, you know what I mean, care a lot about it and want to see that back into my possession. So I don't know what he's talking about with the threats and all that, bro. I got 2 kids, bro. I don't even play, you know what I mean? I just mind my business, you know what I'm saying? So
okay, so clearly he's saying that these threats didn't come from him. It might have come from someone in his team, I guess. Like, again, we don't really know. There's no, like, specifics being told in these videos. But obviously, judging from the Storage Hunters videos, he was saying that he was speaking to Roddy Ricch's team and not Roddy Ricch himself. So it might have came from someone on that side. Or maybe it was just comments from people on TikTok. We don't know. He then goes on further to say that they agreed to meet up and the clothes were supposed to be involved as well. He's going to give them money for the clothes. But then the clothes weren't there. They had to meet up at a police station. There was 2 police officers there and a bunch of cameras.
We come to an agreement of, all right, well, we'll meet you here and get a Grammy back or whatever. So we was like, you know what? Since you're bringing it back, we're going to give you some money. You know what I mean? We're going to give you some money for that. Yeah, y'all worried about the 2 kids. We're going to give you some money for that. So we was like, shit, bring the clothes too, and we'll throw you some money. You know what I mean? And when he ended up coming to the police station that we met up at, he had 2 cops, 3 niggas with cameras trying to create a moment out of it. And it just was that the whole situation put a bad taste in everybody on the team mouth. It put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So everybody just wanted to get the situation done with, wanted to pull up, get the Grammy, you know what I mean, and maybe take care of him if he wanted to be cool, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't pull up with anything, which was confusing to bro that pulled up.
Okay, so clearly his side of the story is the reason why it seemed like some weird energy in that video where he is picking up the Grammy is because his team weren't happy with the way that it was handled on social media and whatnot. And then of course he mentions the clothes thing again. Obviously in the video we hear the storage hunters saying like, oh, we didn't even mention that, we didn't talk about that, that's why I didn't bring them. Who knows? Again, these are just 2 very different sides of the story. And then he ends the video by saying that he appreciates that it's now being handed back to him, but he doesn't appreciate the accusations.
I'm glad it's back, you know what I mean? I'm glad he found it in his heart to give it back and, you know, do all that. But, you know, I just need to do away with the accusations of, you know, us doing anything bad or being bad people, bro. We send love to everybody. And, you know, we just want everybody to be at peace.
Okay, so that's where the video cuts off, but that was pretty much the end of it anyways. Like I said, it's 2 very different sides of the story. I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on what you think has happened here. And like I mentioned earlier, we do actually have a brief response from the storage hunters. He's replied to a comment that said, Roddy offered some money, but he threatened Roddy Ricch for 50k. And when he said no, he said, go sleep on it and think about how badly you want it. To which the storage hunters responded saying, I wish I got offered that, but I didn't. I didn't even get a video saying thank you, but I want nothing to do with them, not even tickets. I returned it at no cost. So clearly there's some animosity here. From this comment again, it does make it seem as if he is saying that it's because of the stuff that Roddy Ricch's team said is the reason he gave it back, because of threats and whatnot, obviously like he alluded to in the video. And he says that he wasn't even offered money. Obviously Roddy Ricch is saying that they offered 10k at first. But again, 2 very different sides of the story. But yeah, either way, that is all the information that we have at this point. Who knows what's going to happen? The storage hunters have uploaded a new video that's got like nothing to do with this whole situation. So it does seem like they're moving on from it. Maybe we won't hear anything else. So with that in mind, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on the information we do have. Obviously, I guess like the big debate here is whether the storage hunters should have give the Grammy back in the first place for free at least. Do you think they were in their right to ask for like a lot of money? Because I guess it would be worth a lot of money, right, if they were to sell it. Or do you think that you should have given it back for free in the first place? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'm going to leave the video there. So if you did enjoy, please do leave a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.